Dude, I would love to get a Prismatic of this card. God, that'd be sick. Prismatic of any of the Unchains would be so good, actually. Just any of them. I love playing that deck, so...
A few moments later.
It's literally a starter, and it's also technically a combo piece, because you can set it and just... Oh! God. Oh my god, oh my god. I literally was talking about it, like, getting Prismatic of this, like, 2 packs before this arrived. What the hell?
Later.
Right, surely we get another Prismatic Abomination, right? Surely. We can't just have one this stream. That's not enough. You know, we really need a second one. Wait, I've got... Wait, it's... Wait, there's only one spell left. No, there's no way. Bro, there's no way. there's no way, right? There's no way. Bruh? I have this strange feeling that Konami's trying to get me to play a certain deck, but I'm not quite sure which one it is. So Unchained has been added to Duel Links, which has gotten me incredibly excited, as it's probably one of my favourite decks from Master Duel, if not my most played deck in that game, so that just means I know how good this archetype can be, and considering just how many cards they've given to us on day one for this deck, I have incredibly high hopes for it. And after just the small bit of testing I've done today, I can confirm it's looking very promising. So here's today's deck list. But, before we get into the deck list, apparently 50% of people watching this aren't even subscribed to the channel. So if you guys are new around here or returning viewers and enjoying this kind of content and think you want to see some more deck builds and more content from me in the future, please remember to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel down below. I have a whole bunch of videos planned on the latest box coming out over the upcoming days, so if you don't want to miss out on those, make sure to subscribe and let's jump into this deck list. Alright, so first things first, let's address the elephant in the room. Why exactly am I playing Fleur in my Unchained deck? Well, there are a couple of reasons, but the main one is, basically Unchained just doesn't have any skill that it needs to run. There aren't even very many good skills for the deck. You can play the high-level Fiend Shuffler one that you can get for Ubel, but other than that, there isn't really anything that synergizes super well with the deck, so you might as well play a skill that just provides a whole bunch of tools to the archetype, which is what Fleur does. It gives you access to things like your Sausage, which is fantastic in combination with obviously destroying your Unchained cards to destroy your opponent's cards, just triggers their effects. It allows you to summon out additional Synchros going first for even more disruption. It allows you to go into various different Synchros going second and Dingirsu going second before going into any of your Unchained plays just to clear out your opponent's back row or just deal with problematic monsters. It basically just gives it a whole bunch of tools you can play with, which you wouldn't normally have access to. Now there is obviously the major downside, which is these cards do lock you into Fiends once you do use them, meaning if you do plan to use the Fleur cards, you kind of have to go into them before going into the sort of Unchained side of the deck, but that's sort of how Fleur works anyway. You typically use your Fleur stuff to clear out your opponent's disruption, then go into your main core of your deck to actually just finish the job. So it feels really good to me. Whether or not it's the best variation of Unchained or not, that's completely up for debate, but to me it feels pretty goddamn good, and I wanted to showcase it, because it does feel really goddamn good. So there are a lot of cards in this deck list, so I'm basically going to ignore all the Fleur stuff as you've probably seen all that before, and just focus on the brand new Unchained cards and give you guys a good rundown on what all these new cards do. So to start with, we have your Aruha. This card can special summon itself from your hand by destroying a card on the field, and additionally when itself is destroyed, it summons out an Unchained monster from your deck list. That is an effect that a lot of your Unchained cards have. When they are destroyed, typically they're going to summon out something from the deck. That goes to your monsters and even your spell and trap cards. Alright, then we have your Rakea. This card when on the field, quick effect can destroy a card on the field. Additionally, once again, when it's destroyed, summons an Unchained monster from the deck. Then we have your Sarama. This card can destroy a card on your field to set an Unchained card from your graveyard. Now be warned, this card isn't technically an Unchained card, it doesn't have Unchained in the name, so make sure you don't get fooled for that. Normally you grab your trap cards and set them instead. Alright, and also when it's destroyed, just like with these dudes, summons an Unchained from the deck. Alright, then we have the big ones, starting off with your Abominable Unchained Soul. This card, basically, if a card you control is destroyed battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, keep in mind that's not just by this effect, you can summon this from the deck and it will still trigger this effect. You can discard one card, destroy one card on the field. That's a non-target destroy, by the way, so if your opponent ever destroys one of your monsters, whether it be any of these small guys, you can summon this thing from the deck, discard a card, non-target remove one of your opponent's things. A really good card. Alright, once per turn during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it's destroyed on the field and sent there this turn, you can special summon this card but place it on the bottom of the deck when it leaves the field. Alright, then we have your Unchained Soul Disaster. This thing gains 200 attack for each Unchained card in your graveyard. You can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, immediately after this effect resolves, link summon one dark link monster using only this card you control and that opponent's monster as material. So normally you use this thing to go into the brand new Link 2 monster. Alright, additionally, if this card on the field is destroyed by a card effect, you can target Unchained monster in your graveyard, summon it to the field. Alright, then we have your spell and trap cards, starting off with your Prison. This thing just searches for an Unchained card, and when it's destroyed when it is set, it summons out an Unchained monster from the deck. Then we have your Continuous spell. Again, when it's destroyed when set, summons out a card from the deck, and if you do a link summon of an Unchained monster when it's face up on the field, you can destroy a card on the field. Alright, we have your Abominable Chamber of the Unchained. This thing again, when destroyed, summons an Unchained, and it's basically a monster reborn in trap form. It just summons your Unchained monsters back from the graveyard. And finally, we have your Escape of the Unchained. Target Unchained monster control and one card on the field, destroy both of them. And also, again, when it's destroyed, summons Unchained from the deck. So moving on to the extra deck now, we've got 4 brand new cards to talk about. Starting off with your new Unchained Soul of Rage. This thing is a brand new Link 2 monster, and it takes 2 monsters including an Unchained Soul monster. Keep in mind, Unchained Soul is only the big ones, so don't be trying to use the small ones to make it. Alright, well you can use the small ones, but you need to use a big one as well. Alright, during your opponent's main phase as a quick effect, you can target one face-up, special summoned monster your opponent controls, so can't use their normal summons. Immediately after the effect resolves, link summon a Dark Link monster except Unchained Soul of Rage by using only that opponent's monster and this card you control as material. So use this thing with any of your opponent's special summon monsters to summon out things like Knightmare Unicorn or go into the other brand new Link monster. Alright, the last effect of this card is if this thing is on the field destroyed battle or card effect, you can target a Fiend monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Alright, then we have the Link 3 monster, which is incredibly similar to the previous, only it's just not a quick effect. So you use this thing to target your opponent's cards, and just go into your bigger monsters with it. That's basically all you do with it. It also has the same effect where if it is destroyed when it's on the field, target a Fiend in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Very similar card, just not a quick effect. Alright, and finally we have your Unchained Abomination, which is probably what you're going to climb into using the new Link 3. Alright, 2 monsters including a Link monster, so it's super generic. You can play this thing in like any deck. If a card on the field is destroyed by card effect except fire itself, you can target one card on the field and destroy it. When another monster is destroyed in battle, you can target one card on the field and destroy it, and during the end phase, you can target one card on the field and destroy it. So it's basically just a pop 3 that can just destroy 3 cards on the field. Very cool card. Alright, and the final brand new card is Stellar Wind Wolfrayet, or however you pronounce this card, the brand new bundle card which is actually limited to 1. So this card I wouldn't recommend playing in like anything else that isn't Fleur, but in specifically Fleur, this card is insane. Alright, you can only control one of this card, gains 300 attack each time another monster effect is activated, that is you or your opponent, while the attack of this card is less than 4,000. Once per turn, if this card's attack is 4,000 or higher, quick effect, you can shuffle both this card and all monsters your opponent controls into the deck, so a full board wipe of your opponent. A pretty insane effect. It's not super broken because it obviously shovels itself back into the deck, but if you can just summon this thing going first, on top of all your Unchained combos, you just have a full board wiping card that just sits there on top of your other combo, so very powerful card and you're going to see it quite a bit during the gameplay. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the decklist portion of the video. The rest of the video will be gameplay showcasing this decklist in action, and without further ado, let's check out some gameplay. So today I've saved 7 replays to share with you guys, all of which were taken from a little climb I did from about Platinum 6, or wherever you start when the season resets, all the way up to Legend 3. You can easily climb this decklist all the way up to COG. I had multiple high win streaks with this deck. I think the highest I got to was 8 or 9 or something, so easily a coggable decklist. Whether or not this is the best variation, that's completely up for debate, but it felt pretty good to me, so let's check it out. Alright, so we're starting off with what was a very bricky hand, because the coolest thing I find with this variation of the deck is even when your hand looks like a complete and utter just brick fest, you can still just cook up some pretty disgusting end fields. So let me just show you. Alright, so going up against a pretty shit deck, I think this guy was playing that really old shark skill that puts the trap card in grave. But as you can see from this hand, this is one of those like nightmare looking hands. You've opened the tuna monster, which you never want to open. We've opened the Unchained big level 8 monster, which again, another card you just don't want to open. And just no other Unchained monsters. It looks like a brick fest. Let's see what we can make with it. Alright, so skill activated, so we can normal summon this. Activating the skill to shuffle this into the deck, reducing this card's level by 1. That way you can go into the new level 9. So already we have one Lot Disruption. This is going to summon the tuna monster to the field. Keep in mind, every time monster effect is activated, this thing is going to climb up and up and up until you reach 4k. Alright, so shuffling it out using the skill, making it level 8, summoning it back. These two become your Vermillion, which can now destroy the trap card you put on the field. Alright, and that summons out an Unchained monster from the deck. And these two can then become your Unchained Soul of Rage. So from what looks like a complete and utter garbage hand, we've at least ended on what is essentially 3 points of interaction. This thing can use my opponent's monsters, it can turn into a Knightmare Unicorn, discard a card, another point of interaction, and this thing by that point will be stacked fully up to just remove your opponent's entire field. So 3 points of interaction from a completely garbage hand. That's kinda sick. Alright, because most hands are obviously going to be better than this, I just want to show off that your brick hands are still playable. Alright, so Knightmare Unicorn, discarding, going to be shuffling back into the deck, puts this thing to 4k, if he summons any more monsters I can shuffle them away, and yeah, he's just dead on field. His back row is absolutely junk, so not bad. Alright, replay number 2. So hopefully that replay got you a little bit excited, because like it's so cool to see a completely dogshit hand like that turn to such a stable looking end field. Alright, up against, I think this is the new Buster Blader skill, which is, I'm not gonna lie, not the greatest looking skill. It's a bit sus looking. Oh no, this is Battle Chronicle, sorry. This is a Blue Eyes player. We definitely had another Buster Blader replay later on though. So, Battle Chronicle, we're going to be searching for his Blue Eyes, and I think he just sets 2 back rows. He sets the Soul and the Quick Play Fusion spell. I think I did. Oh yeah, this guy's got the I was wondering why no animation played, because he's playing Yugi. Actually a sin, playing Yugi with Blue Eyes, complete sin. Oh no, at least it's 1 card, okay. So thankfully we actually opened the Sausage this time, which makes any going second a hell of a lot easier. Just going to try to pop his cards. He's just going to summon out a Draken Master Knight, which does literally nothing. Fleurs summons out another card. This one summons out a card from his graveyard if he had one. Making a Dingirsu to remove one of his monsters. Alright, then we can just send this to the graveyard for a level 8. Shuffle it in, put a level 2 on the field. Make that level 7. This leads into a Vermillion. Pop a card, and then we just have whatever Unchained stuff we want to do. So, searching for Aruha, can pop this trap card to special summon it. The trap card then summons a card from the deck, which I summoned this card. I probably should have summoned the one that lets me link climb, and just link climbed using my opponent's monster, since I think this thing was special summoned. Yeah, I probably should have just done that. Either way, it still removes it, so what does it matter? And yeah, he's dead on field. It's definitely better to go into Link 2, though. If he had like a Kite Roid or something, then I wouldn't have any sort of disruption. At least the Link 2's a little bit disruption. Even if it's not too good against Blue Eyes, they just normal summon, and he can't do anything about it, but yeah. Alright, replay number 3. So this one's probably the Buster Blader replay, I think. Nope, I lied again. Okay. Just make me look like a liar, game. Come on. Alright, up against another Sherry opponent, so a bit of a mirror match. I think this is the zombie opponent, actually, and this replay was sick. So again, a going second replay where we opened the Sausage, which makes going second a hell of a lot easier. The set can definitely go second without this, and you'll see plenty of replays later on that does it, but if you open this, god, it feels good. Although in this scenario, it's actually not that great. This guy wasn't just playing zombie. He was playing zombie Orcust, of course. Good old Orcust enjoyer. So So fast forward him a little bit, it takes a little while. It sets up his full looking Orcust combo with the Ding on field, and of course the summon during my turn of the zombie. So let's see what we can do. So we're going to start off by destroying our own card. This does nothing against his because he has Dingirsu, of course. He's then going to negate this before I can get my level 8 on the field. I don't know about that one, but anyway. I guess he was worried I was going to go into Dingirsu or something. Did he just negate the Ding then? I don't know. Anyway. Searching for my Aruha. Gonna be shuffling, turning to level 7. This way I can make my level 9. This card is terrifying for him because there's the potential to remove his entire field. So every monster of fate, it's gonna start stacking up. And he's like, nah, we're not having that, and removes it instantly. Which is good, because he has no idea I'm playing Unchained yet. And he still has no idea, because I'm gonna go into a Vermillion first. Isn't that just like crazy? Before we've done any of our Unchained stuff, by the way, we've gone into Vermillion, we've gone into a Stellar Wind, and we've gone into a Sausage as well. Before we've done any Unchained plays, I've access to 3 lots of removal sources. If he had, like, yeah, I don't know, it was just insane. If he had no way to defend, he was just screwed. Like, no way to defend destruction, which Dingirsu was doing. He would have lost so much. Alright. We're going to use his opponent's monster. Now he has no negate to just go into my Unchained Soul of Rage. These two become my Knightmare Unicorn. Going to be discarding to shuffle back in. Again, I probably should have gone into the Soul of Anguish here and sucked up my opponent's monster to make a Abomination, but I think I was low on time, so I just clicked on the first card that did something, which is Knightmare Unicorn. And Vermillion clears out the final card for lethal damage. Yeah, so all of that Fleur stuff, and then we just go straight into the Unchained afterwards to wipe out the rest of the field is completely insane. Completely insane. Alright, on to Morin Noob. Alright, this one's got to be the Buster Blader. I know he's in here. Alright, this is looking like a Buster Blader enjoyer. So Buster Blader with this skill, I'm not gonna lie, it's not looking too good. Again, I know I've uploaded a lot of Fleur decks lately, but unironically, Fleur looks kind of playable with Buster Blader, which I might try out later just because it actually lets you go into your combo properly. Also allows you to use your Wear After properly, so you can get a level 1 on the field really easily to search for your Will. So whether or not I end up using this skill when I try out Buster Blader later on, I'm not sure. I might end up just playing the playing another Fleur variation, which does look pretty good for it, but let's see what this man was cooking. So he's going to grab his Polymerization. I also didn't realize it adds both of these to hand. I thought it would add only one or the other, but adding 2 is kind of decent, even though one of the cards is pretty, it's a card of all time. He summons a Dark Cavalry and passes with 1 lot of back row. Alright, so shuffling out. Basically, we're going to go into a Vermillion first, just because we can. Or level 9 first, or, yeah, Vermillion first. Not going to use the Vermillion yet, of course, because he'd just negate it, so not going to do that. Instead, we're going to start off with our Unchained stuff. He negates the Rakea, which was targeting one of my cards. Okay, I'm just going to use Rakea's effect to summon from my deck. Summon the Unchained Soul, which is a non-target. Unfortunately, he has a warning point. That's fine, because he's only got 1 card left in hand, so we're going to target his stuff now. Force out his remaining removal, or his remaining protection. And now use Aruha, pop the trap. Summon from deck. Make my Link 2, and then realize we actually didn't quite have lethal on field, so because this card's been warning pointed. Alright, but he is pretty screwed from here, not much he can do. Yeah, he just concedes. Alright, up next. Three replays remaining. Yeah, I'm not sure about that new Buster Blader skill. It looks a little bit on the... I really think they should just not include the whole Dark Magician side of the deck and made it completely about Buster Blader. It could have been such a sick skill. I don't think it'd even be that broken if they made Buster Blader fairly playable. Just because Buster Blader's a fairly flimsy deck. If you just have any sort of like Book of Moon on a gate for them, they just lose their entire field to 1 copy of any of those cards. Alright. So, Fleur going to be turning these two into a Wolfrayet. Summoning our level 1 from the deck. Revolution swapping it over. Bulb summoning back. These two become your... some reason uses Effect Failure on this, which is kind of nice of him, because I was just going to make a Vermillion and pop my trap card. I don't know why you wouldn't wait to the end of the turn to use the Effect Failure on this, but anyway. So this is another fairly bricky hand, but now we've got 2 lots of disruption, and we have my potentially Fleur on hand for follow-up if I don't need to use it for a Knightmare Unicorn. Alright, summons a bunch of stuff to the field. We're now going to remove some of it. Knightmare Unicorn, discarding, shuffling in. This thing's nearly up to 4k already. Alright, summons a card to the field, and I think he wasn't able to continue his place there, so just concedes. Yeah, I've actually come across, I think, like, a ridiculous amount of Tachyons today, actually. Tachyon was... a lot of people were trying out the post sort of nerf or the post buff version of the skill now. I still think that deck is pretty rubbish. It's been power crept all shit now. If it was pre-nerf Tachyon, of course, it'd still be insane, but even after these small buffs they gave to the skill, I still think it's pretty shit. Speaking of Tachyon, here's another one. I think we go second versus this guy. I think he actually had 2 counter traps set up, or 1 counter trap and 1 pseudo sort of counter trap looking thing. So he summons some level 8s, sits on this card, sets to back row and passes. Alright. Reducing this card's level, shuffling it out. These two become your Wolfrayet once again. Oh, your Wolfrayet. Frayet. How do you pronounce this thing? Wolfrayet or something? Wolfrat or something? Is that really Wolfrat? I don't know. Anyway. Alright, popping the trap card, summon the dude to the field. I keep saying Grey Rat because the stupid anime. People in chat probably know what, oh sorry, in the comments will know what I'm talking about. Discarding a card, he has Exceeds block for a first of the counter traps to stop this to non-target remove. Rakea going to pop a card. And once again, he has another counter trap, which this one's actually really annoying, because it stops me getting another card to the field. But on the bright side, this thing is going to be beyond fully stacked during his turn now, because I can just use this thing's effect to trigger it. So Rakea, pop a card, make this thing 4k, and then I can shuffle this stuff away, and hopefully he has no other further play. Didn't draw quite the card we were looking for, because these cards, although they can destroy each other, they don't summon a card from the deck if they're destroyed by Rakea's effect, so... Pretty bad top deck, but he had nothing else, so... I think that's the main downside of this skill now. It looks like the follow-up is complete dogshit, because you can't just use the skill 600 times a duel. It looks like complete poop now. Yeah, or maybe just top deck badly or something, who knows. Alright, final duel. And this shows my favourite setup you can do with this deck. This is the setup you go for if you have a very Unchained heavy hand. So you have things like your Aruha in hand, you have like a spell and trap card to pop, and you have just another Unchained monster you can normal summon. You can also set up a very similar field to this with the level 8 Fleur monsters as well. But you just don't get an extra monster on the field at the end. Alright, so we make a level 6 using these two. This gives us an additional draw. Alright, summon level 1, we can shuffle that out, bring it back, make the level 9. Then we use the effect of Prison to search for our Escape of the Unchained. Aruha going to be popping that, summoning a card from the deck, which is going to be your Sarama, which can then pop the Unchained you just put on the field to put that trap back on the field. Alright. These two cards become your Soul of Rage, and then because we have this card, we can just put this on the field. I could have also kept this in hand for a discard with a Nightmare card, but yeah, it's fine. Alright, this thing's already at 3,400, so it's getting pretty close. Tries to battle phase, of course we're going to pop that, so we can't just remove one of my cards. Alright. This thing's now at 4k and ready to go. Putting this on the field just so I can go into an Anguish. This can pop a card on the field because we summoned an Unchained. He tries to crack down, doesn't really matter, we get it back. Summons Multi-Faker, but before he can get another annoying card on the field, we're going to non-target remove this, because otherwise, yeah, he'll have the add back to hand card with the other thing. Alright, maybe I should have waited on that. Maybe I could have done it in response to this maybe later on, actually. I'm not sure. Maybe that would have been better. Either way, I'm going to link summon using his card, making the Abomination. And didn't realize it didn't have lethal either, because he has 5,000 life points, of course. Alright, once again to pop my card, this allows me to then pop a card using the Abomination, because the card was destroyed on my field. Now, if you're wondering why I didn't summon out a... Actually, no, I couldn't summon out a card, never mind. Yeah, he just definitely killed. Alright. So a bit of a close one, but during the end phase, this thing would have popped a back row anyway, so even if he drew another trap card to set, this thing would have popped that anyway, so he was pretty screwed there. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this little video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, there's a whole bunch of deck lists coming out over the upcoming days based on all the new cards coming out from the new box, so make sure to subscribe for that. Thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob? Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis. Oh.